Okay, so this is gonna be a demonstration for how to do the cleanup and final touches of your vector portraits. So I'm just gonna use this older picture as an example, but pretty much so when I hide my picture layer, though, you can see I have like some inconsistencies or open white spaces on the area where the hand is. All right, so you're like directly tracing exactly what the shapes were and you didn't use the using the pencil tracing those exact shapes how they were, and you're just like filling in the space. Now the problem with doing it that way is you'll end up with these little white gaps though. Which is fine though. You can do it either or way. But obviously, if you did it like the way I showed you in the video, where you thought about like the details and move on to the bigger shapes in terms of your values, like the smaller like shadows, and move on to the bigger shadows or bigger values. You wouldn't run into this issue that we have here. But I'm going to show you a couple ways where you can fix this real quickly. So there's actually two different ways. The original way that I showed you was you can actually click on the layers. I'm using the direct selection tool, and you can click on the shape, the point, and then you can move those points around to fill in those blank areas. Okay, that was one way of doing it, but that way is a little bit that way would take a little bit more time. If we did it that way though. So that's more for like minor details, but I'm gonna show you another way that you can fix it that will be a little bit quicker. So, for example, in this space here, obviously I don't have enough of this lighter gray purple, so we can just eyedrop this color here, and all I'm gonna do is just fill in that one space there. Oops. And again, if you didn't close up your shapes, because some of these shapes I have aren't even closed up, like this one here. So I need to close up that shape before I move on. So this is gonna connect here, and then I can go back. So I'm gonna go back to tracing that shape. So I'm just gonna fill in that white space using that gray that we have. All right, you just want to fill up that space. I'm gonna eyedrop this color here, and all you have to do is right-click on the shape and click on Arrange and send to back. Okay, you can also do Command Shift and then the bracket key, and then move it to the back. Okay, but what happens though is now it fills up that space. So you can do that the same for like all your shapes. So I'm going to click on this shape here, and I'm going to just fill in those spots there. So all these white spots that I want to fill out for that specific color, I'm just going to color it in there. And you can just color in boxes like this. You don't have to really use curves. I would just keep it simple. Obviously, if you need certain parts to cover, you might need to do curves. And do Command Shift and then the back bracket to move in the back. So that's using those hotkeys though. But this is a real quick way of like filling in those spaces. So again, I'm going to use the same value here, just fill in that part. And you can also do this like right click, arrange in the back. This is a real quick way to like just fill in those spaces because this is like little details that it's not that big of a deal, but it'll make you look cleaner though if you fill it out. So this one I can do a really big shape here. But basically what's happening though is the shapes moving into the very, very back of the picture. Alright, but that's an easy quick fix you can do to fill in those spaces. I'll do one more. Show it one more time. So I'm just using that dark purple, just filling in those spaces. Yeah, you can utilize curves too if you want. It's up to you. And right click, and send it back. And now send it back to the picture. So, just make sure to do that at the very, very end to fill in those little white gaps. Because, part of like the craftsmanship grade is, you want to make sure it's, fully colored. You don't have any weird looking inconsistencies. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to show you that. And one other thing I didn't want to show you too was if for some reason you don't have enough detail in a certain part of your picture and you want to add more detail to it, there's going to be a way you can do that. So, um, this is what I'm going to have you. This is what you should have done in your warm up today. I actually wanted you guys to do a comparison with the portrait with your drawing on the portrait. So, I had you guys hide all the layers there, only revealing just the picture here. And we're going to unlock this layer. Okay, just because we gotta select this. So I'm actually gonna make like a copy of this there. So I'm gonna press Command C to copy, Command V to paste. Yeah, that way you don't have to move this picture again. This will be to the side. Okay, so then I'm gonna reveal. I'm gonna lock this layer again, and then reveal all those other layers that are on there. Okay, but now we can have like a comparison next to each other on um, the portrait and then what we drew on there. Okay, now another thing you do too. So like in my clothes here, I feel like I want to add a little bit more detail to it. So like for example, I forgot like to put the this chain here, or this. Uh, this is for my ID tag. So what you could do here is we can look at those comparisons, and I'm gonna go on this top layer here. I actually separated all my layers into different values, but you should have like a values layer here for all your drawings. And I'm gonna just add this layer on here. So I'm just gonna trace this on here real quickly, just to fill in that spot. So so you can just draw the layer, and then if you wanted to, you can actually move that layer onto over here, and then kind of just like eyeball where it might be. I should do a darker gray so it can pop out more. So I'm just gonna eyeball where it should be in the picture. So you can actually do your drawing this way too, but this way is like it's a little bit more of like fitting in, finding the right place. But this is like a real easy, effective way to draw your picture. This is like for like minor details. I don't recommend doing this for your entire drawing, but there's like little details that you may have missed. This is a good way to add those details. I'm actually gonna make this a darker value because this is like closer to the value of my clothes right now. So this is gonna go over here. This is supposed to be like a shadow of the chain that I have. So I'm actually gonna make this a lighter value in the shirt. So we'll do like this very light gray, and this will be this value here. You can see how I'm just like adding like little details by just drawing what's on here, and then I'm just drawing the shadow there. Moving the details over there. So this is just like a little minor shadow on here. And this is actually another way you can work on your portrait this way. Again, I don't really recommend doing it this way just because it takes more time, and then you have to like make sure things fit perfectly. Actually, gonna move the shadow on the top. Arrange spring front. No, I can't move it to the front because my values aren't on the top layer. I mean, it's okay though. We can fix it. And, it's not perfect though, because you really have to just like look carefully at what you're doing and line up things properly. I mean, this is only for like minor details though. I wouldn't do this unless you needed more details. You can see how there's like more details being added to the drawing using this method. So I'll just draw this one last thing on here. I mean, you kind of get the idea though. We're just adding like things that we missed out. Again, I want to go super detailed with the clothes. I'm just adding these chains and things. Oh, this is actually where it should have went. Yeah, that's perfect. All right. And whoops. It's not perfect, so you will have to kind of like clean it up. But I would only use this for detail, so I wouldn't draw your whole picture like this. So this requires a little bit more effort to get perfect. All right. Yeah. So if there's any details that you missed, so that's a really easy way to do it. You can kind of make a comparison between the two and just draw on here, and then all I'm doing is using the selection tool to drag it over here. Should add one more thing. Oh yeah, I would add this tier too. So I did forget this detail here. Alright, but for the sake of the video, though, I want to keep it short though. I'm not gonna add those things, but I could draw this here, draw that, and add more of the arm because this arm doesn't really. It's like kind of missing here. Yeah, but that's what I would do.